Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be, well, saying goodbye to
Yeah,
the Audi R8.
a bittersweet one.
It is bittersweet, an icon for 17 years.
Yeah,
We're going to explore its history and legacy,
absolutely.
and we've got a great press release from Audi to help us with that.
Fantastic.
And there's some real surprises in here, I have to
Mm,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, like to kick things off, did you know that Audi's first supercar was actually
Mm.
a collaboration with Lamborghini?
It is. It's surprising in a way, but it's true. Lamborghini was an Audi subsidiary,
Right.
and this partnership really showed Audi's ambition to break into a market that was
Yeah.
dominated by brands like Ferrari and Porsche.
Yeah, and they didn't just dip their toes in the water. They produced almost 46,000 R8s
Yeah,
over its lifetime.
that's a lot of cars.
It is a lot of cars.
It speaks to the car's enduring popularity, but I think the limited production run actually
Yeah. Mhm.
adds to its mystique as well.
Yeah.
Creates that sense of exclusivity.
Totally. Before we get into the R8 that graced our roads, I'm really fascinated by the name. Where did they get R8?
Right.
The press release talks about endurance racing and the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, it's a key part of the story.
Hmm.
The R8 inherits its name from Audi's first
Hmm.
R8 race car, which was a prototype and achieved legendary status
Wow.
at Le Mans.
Yeah.
So we're talking 5 victories at Le Mans, 6 consecutive wins at the 12 Hours of Sebring.
That's an incredible track record.
Yeah.
How did those racing victories
Yeah.
translate into a street car?
Well, it started with a concept car called the Audi Le Mans Quattro,
Okay.
revealed back in 2003.
Got it.
And this was the world's first glimpse of what would eventually become the production R8.
It's really interesting they mentioned that this concept car was actually built on the Lamborghini Gallardo platform.
That's right.
Another connection.
Another connection. It shows how intertwined the two brands were.
Yeah.
But beyond that shared platform, though, the Le Mans Quattro was packed with innovative features. It had LED headlights, which were groundbreaking at the time,
Yeah.
a lightweight carbon fiber Audi space frame, which was for rigidity and weight savings,
Right.
and even a digital cockpit display.
Yeah.
And it's easy to take for granted
Yeah.
now, but back then it was a glimpse into the future.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that 5.0-liter V10 engine,
Oh, yeah?
610 horsepower, 750 newton meters of torque.
Yeah, that sent a message.
Yeah.
It was a statement for sure. And when the first generation R8 debuted at the 2006 Paris Motor Show,
Yes.
it stayed remarkably true to that Le Mans Quattro concept,
Yeah.
both in terms of its looks and its performance goals.
It's amazing that they actually managed to pull that off. I mean, and when you think about the tech
Yeah.
in the first generation R8,
Oh, yeah.
like the dual clutch transmission. I mean, maybe not everybody knows what that is,
Yeah.
but it was offering lightning fast gear changes.
It was blurring the lines between road car and a track machine.
Yeah.
You're right. The R8's transmission options were a big part of its appeal.
Yeah.
You had the choice between the classic manual,
Right.
the R-tronic automatic, and later on the super quick S-tronic dual clutch.
Yep. Yeah.
So you had a choice for purists or people who loved that raw performance.
Right.
And of course, you can't forget, it was one of the first production cars to have full LED headlights back in 2008.
I feel like that's something we overlook now that LEDs are everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
But that was huge back then.
It was huge.
And then not only the tech, the craftsmanship, each R8 was hand-built
Oh, yeah.
at a dedicated facility called the Bullinger Hof plant.
That attention to detail was crucial because it elevated the R8
Yeah.
beyond just being a fast car.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a holistic driving experience where the performance was matched
Right.
by craftsmanship and a level of exclusivity that was rare to find.
Makes sense. So Audi didn't just stop there, though, right? They
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out with all these special editions and concept cars. The press release really dives into this. What were some of the things they were exploring?
Well, one that really stands out is the R8 GT Coupe and Spider.
Okay.
These were track-focused beasts,
Okay.
limited to just 333 units each. They stripped away weight, added racing-inspired features,
No.
and really took the performance up a notch.
I remember reading about those. They even had roll bars
Yeah,
and a fire suppression system.
yeah.
But then there's this R8 V12 TDI concept.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? A diesel in a supercar.
It might seem odd at first,
Yeah.
but remember, Audi was dominating Le Mans with their diesel-powered R10 TDI race car,
Right.
so they were keen to see if that success could translate to road cars.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they were bringing that Le Mans magic to the street. The performance figures were impressive: 500 horsepower,
Oh, yeah.
1,000 Newton meters of torque. It could hit 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in about 4 seconds.
Pretty quick.
And while being fuel efficient for a supercar.
Exactly. Yeah. It challenged the perception of what a diesel engine could do, certainly in a performance car.
It's so interesting how some concepts never quite make it to production, even when they seem so promising.
Yeah.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, there's another special edition R8 that caught my eye, the R8 LMX.
Yes.
Fastest production Audi at the time.
It was.
And it featured another first laser high beams.
Ah, yes. The LMX with 570 horsepower. It was a real beast.
Yeah.
And those laser high beams were incredible.
Yeah.
They doubled the illumination range of standard LED headlights.
Wow.
It made night driving an entirely different experience.
It really did solidify the R8's reputation as a technological pioneer.
It did.
So Audi never stopped innovating with the first generation R8.
No.
But I'm curious about the second generation, which came out in 2015.
Right.
What were the major changes, and how did it build on the success of the first?
Well, visually, the second generation R8 was an evolution rather than a revolution.
Okay.
So it retained those iconic side blades, but the overall design language became sharper and more refined.
Got it.
It still shared its platform with the Lamborghini Huracan.
Yeah.
But under the hood, there were some significant developments.
Okay, the press release talks about a shift in drivetrain strategy.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
This was a major turning point for the R8. For the first time, Audi introduced a rear-wheel drive model, the R8 V10 RWS.
Okay.
Up until this point, Audi's performance cars had been almost synonymous with the Quattro all-wheel drive system.
So why that change?
Well, they recognized that a rear-wheel drive setup could provide a purer, more engaging driving experience for certain drivers.
Makes sense.
It was a bold move, but it showed that Audi was willing to challenge their own conventions in the pursuit of driving pleasure.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a one-off experiment. After a facelift in 2019, Audi offered both all-wheel and rear-wheel drive options
Oh, wow.
across the R8 lineup. So it gave buyers a real choice in how they wanted their R8 to handle and perform.
It sounds like they were trying to cater to a wider range of enthusiasts with the second generation. Did they continue to push the boundaries with special editions and performance upgrades?
Absolutely. They introduced a track-focused version of the rear-wheel drive R8
Okay.
called the R8 V10 GT RWD.
Right.
This was limited to 333 units and packed a 620 horsepower,
Wow.
making it the most powerful rear-wheel drive Audi ever produced.
Wow. That's quite a send-off
It is.
for the R8. But it wasn't just about road-going performance, was it?
No.
I mean, the R8, I understand, had a significant impact on motorsports as well,
Yes.
especially in customer racing.
You're absolutely right. The R8's DNA was deeply rooted in racing, and Audi Sport built over 450 race cars.
Wow.
Based on both generations of the R8, specifically for customer racing teams all around the world.
Wow.
The GT3 variant in particular achieved remarkable success with 7 victories at the Nürburgring 24 Hours
Wow, that's incredible.
and 11 other international 24-hour race wins.
The Nürburgring is known for being one of the most demanding racetracks.
It is.
So those victories really speak to the R8's capability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't limited to just GT3 racing. Audi fielded R8s in various categories, including GT2 and GT4.
Wow.
So it proves just how versatile the platform was.
It really does.
And those customer racing teams competed on a global stage,
Yeah.
showcasing the R8's performance on tracks all over the world.
The press release mentions a statistic: 368 championship titles
Yeah.
in 16 years.
It's impressive.
That's a legacy most cars can only dream of.
It's a testament to the R8's raw performance and the dedication of the teams that raced it.
Yeah.
And it cemented the R8's place, not just as a road-going icon, but as a true racing legend.
Sadly, the final R8 rolled off the production line in March 2024.
It did.
Finding a final home at the Audi Museum in Ingolstadt is
Yeah.
the end of an era.
It is. It's bittersweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
The R8 represented a significant chapter in Audi's history.
It did.
You know, it elevated their brand image, it showcased their engineering prowess and their ability to create a truly world-class supercar.
Yeah, and beyond the performance, I feel like the R8 was always pushing boundaries, whether it was those LED headlights or even exploring diesel technology in a supercar.
You hit the nail on the head. The R8 was never just about going fast. It was about innovation, challenging conventions, and redefining what a sports car could be.
So now the big question is, with the R8 gone, what will define the next chapter for Audi
Yeah.
in the world of high-performance cars? Yeah, where do they go from here? I mean, will they fully embrace electrification? Maybe take inspiration from that R8 e-tron that
Yeah.
we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Or could they surprise us with something completely unexpected, maybe tap into their motorsport heritage
Right.
or explore some alternative fuel sources?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think it's safe to say Audi won't shy away from innovation.
Right.
I mean, they've proven time and time again that they're not content to just rest on their laurels.
No.
The R8's legacy is all about pushing boundaries, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that continue.
It does make me think about that whole shift towards rear-wheel drive in the second generation R8.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a pretty bold move for a brand that's so closely associated with all-wheel drive.
it was. It was a clear sign that they were willing to evolve their thinking about performance.
Mm.
Um, they recognize that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to creating a thrilling driving experience.
Right.
It's about offering choices and catering to a wider range of driving preferences.
And to be fair, they've always had a knack for balancing that cutting-edge technology with a focus on pure driving pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean, even with all the electronic wizardry in the R8,
Right.
it never felt like it was getting in the way of the driving experience.
No, it's a testament to their engineering expertise.
Yeah.
They managed to integrate those advanced systems
Yeah.
in a way that enhanced the driving experience rather than detracting from it.
So as we say goodbye to the Audi R8, it's not just about mourning the loss of an icon. It's also about looking ahead to what's next. I, for one, am curious to see what exciting new chapters Audi's going to write in the world of high-performance cars.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great opportunity to hear from our listeners.
Yes.
Um, with the R8's departure, what are you hoping to see from Audi in the future?
Yeah.
What innovations or design philosophies would you like them to explore?
That is a great question. The R8 has left some big shoes to fill.
It has.
But I have a feeling Audi is up to the challenge. They've shown us time and time again they're not afraid to take risks, to
Right.
push the boundaries of what's possible in the automotive world.
And the R8 story is a reminder that, car enthusiasts are always hungry for something new,
Right.
something that challenges expectations and ignites our passion for driving. And Audi has a long history of delivering on that front.
I do.
And I'm confident they'll continue to do so in the years to come.
I couldn't agree more. So to all our listeners out there, share your thoughts with us. We want to hear your memories of the Audi R8 and your hopes for the future of Audi performance. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.